Welcome back to the deep dive. So if you're managing this big, high-stakes tenders, you definitely know this feeling the moment the RFP actually launches. Well, that's when the real fun starts,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. It feels like the beginning, but it's really just the start of potential chaos.
Exactly. Stakeholders, they suddenly find budget changes or the scope drifts just a little bit, or maybe a supplier question comes in and bang, it highlights a real inconsistency you missed.
And managing those changes after the launch, that's just absolutely essential. It's about process protection, fundamentally.
Right.
Because, look, untracked edits, confusing communication back and forth via email, it doesn't just cause delays. It genuinely risks protests from supplier.
Accusations unfairness.
Yes, exactly. And worst case, it can actually invalidate the entire competitive tender. That opens you up to some serious legal challenges.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission today really is to give you those non-negotiable steps. How do you keep a clean audit trail? How do you maintain supplier confidence when inevitably something does change?
Yeah, and those changes, they usually stem from a few key areas, right?
Like you said, budget shifts, scope adjustments creeping in, maybe new compliance rules dropping, or just things uncovered during that Q&A phase.
Right. And that brings us to the first and maybe the toughest part. Freeze, assess, and formalize.
Okay.
The second a change request lands, maybe it's an email, a call, the absolute first rule is pause. Just stop any activity on that specific part of the RFP.
But isn't pausing sometimes risky in itself? I mean, how do you sell that slowdown? You've got stakeholders breathing down your neck wanting changes out now.
You justify it by focusing on defensibility. That's the key word. You have to figure out if this proposed change actually impacts the competitive landscape.
Okay, so what questions do you ask?
There are really three critical ones. First, does this touch price, scope, or how we're evaluating bids? Second, will this change fundamentally alter what we're trying to buy? If the answer to any of those is yes, then forget the quick email update. You need to stop and move straight to a formal structured addendum. No shortcuts.
So taking maybe just a few hours to do that structured assessment properly instead of rushing it, that actually saves days, maybe weeks of confusion down the line.
Absolutely. Which leads us right into the next big failure point we see, especially with manual systems, version control, or the lack of it.
Yes, version 1, final updated.
Exactly. You laugh, but it happens. You absolutely must use consistent naming conventions. Something clear like, say, RFP Project XV1.1 Addendum 1 Scope Update. Tells you exactly what it is.
Makes sense.
And maybe even more importantly, within the document itself, you need a detailed change log. You have to note the section change, the date, a clear summary of what changed, and crucially, why it changed.
The section date summary and the reason. Got it.
That log, that's your defensible audit trail right there.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting then. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this detailed record keeping, this traceability, it isn't just like bureaucratic box ticking, is it? It's insurance.
That's a great way to put it. It is insurance.
So what's it insuring us against specifically?
It protects the actual integrity of your final award decision. That log is your concrete proof against claims that you treated suppliers unequally, or worse, accusations of things like tortious interference. Those things lead to massive legal fees, damage to your organization's reputation, and sometimes
You have to scrap the whole thing.
you might have to restart a multi-million-dollar procurement from scratch. The stakes are incredibly high.
Wow. Okay.
And that need for transparency, that has to guide how you talk to suppliers too. Fairness is paramount, meaning all suppliers must be notified at the exact same time, using the same channel, probably the portal or system you use for the initial launch.
No side emails.
Definitely no side emails. And critically, if the change is material, meaning it genuinely affects the deal, like pricing, core scope, evaluation, not just fixing a typo, then you must extend the submission deadline. That's the signal of fairness. It gives everyone adequate time to actually process and incorporate that new information properly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And a practical tip we've seen in the source is something really useful, is requiring every single supplier to formally acknowledge they've received that amendment.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a checkbox in the portal, or maybe even a signed form uploaded. It just stops that classic protest later. Oh, we never saw that update.
Exactly. It closes that loophole. But, managing the external side, the suppliers, that's only half of it. You've also got internal risks.
You mean keeping your own evaluation team aligned?
Precisely.
Yeah.
The internal risk is fragmentation, basically. When the RFP changes, your evaluation criteria might shift too, or how you weigh things.
Right.
Procurement's job then is to immediately get that new evaluation matrix out to all the evaluators. You can't just send it. You have to clearly point out what's changed, why it changed, to make sure everyone scores consistently against the new baseline.
I can see how that could go wrong easily.
Oh, it does. I remember one case, a big software tender, maybe $10 million. They changed a requirement about lead time, but didn't properly cascade it to the technical team reviewing the bids.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They ended up scoring the top 2 proposals based on completely different assumptions about delivery time. Total mess. Had to reevaluate.
So, okay, pulling it all together, the big systemic risks seem to be about missing those dependencies, right? You change one thing, forget the knock-on effects.
That's a huge one. Never, ever edit a live document without proper versioning. And always check dependencies. If you change a delivery date.
You got to check the payment milestones.
Exactly. Check acceptance criteria, payment schedules, anything linked to that date. Otherwise, you've just planted a ticking time bomb right in the middle of your future contract.
So what does this all mean then, wrapping up?
Well, it means relying on, manual tracking with spreadsheets and endless email chains.
Yeah.
It's not just slow or annoying. It's a genuine, critical vulnerability for your procurement process.
So the answer has to be systemic.
It really does. Digital procurement tools, sourcing platforms, they're built for this. They offer automatic version history, that single channel for communication, an unalterable audit trail. It fundamentally protects the integrity of the whole exercise.
Right. So here's the final thought for you listening. Considering the potential costs we've just talked about, tender invalidation, inconsistent scoring, legal challenges, just wasted time, really think about how much actual process protection your current system, especially if it's manual, is truly providing against these very real high-stakes risks. We'll leave you with that.